So Nintendo of Japan has finally responded to all of the concerns about charging Switch and the USB-C compliance issues and all of that jazz on their official support website. Now, we are relying on translations. I did go to the support site and do a Google Translate to confirm at least that this information is legit. But I'm using breakdowns by people who know how to natively translate Japanese into English a bit better. And here is essentially what we learn out of this. There's really two big takeaways. They don't comment on anything to do with the dock, of course, because, they're not. Nintendo's not going to come out and say we have a bad product on the market. But what they do tell us is that you can use third-party USB-C charging cables, certain ones. You can also charge your Switch with a power bank. Let me get into what Nintendo basically broke down and said here. They said before charging your Switch with any sort of power bank, users should always perform the latest system update. I mean, that's just kind of a standard thing with electronics. Then they also said if you would like to charge your system with a power bank, you should use the official USB charging cable. Now, here's the thing. The official USB charging cable is only currently available on two products. The Joy-Con Charge Grip and, the $70 Nintendo Pro Controller. Those are the only two ways to get the Nintendo-branded USB-C charging cable. They do not sell it on its own for some odd reason. They just, the only thing you can buy on its own is the standard wall outlet charger, which has almost no use with any power bank besides the few of them out there that do offer standard outlets. So, this is very, very interesting. But just because they say that's what you should be using, and it can be kind of expensive to get your hands on one, they do say if you are going to use a third-party option, you need to look for a USB charging cable with a 56K OHM resistor. This has to do with power draw, essentially. Having a resistor in there that will prevent the Switch from overdrawing on power is essentially what they're looking for. And this is what will save your power bank. This is what will save a lot of things. So for those of you out there that are currently using third-party USB-C charging cables, the big thing to look up on if you should continue using that cable is if the cable you're using has a 56K OHM resistor. Now, a lot of cables out there do, but not all USB-C cables do. I am going to put a link in the description to one I actually trust and have personally used with my Switch from Anker. Now, I didn't realize that the 56K OHM resistor mattered, but this one just happens to have it. It costs $8. It's a lot cheaper than buying the charging grip. It's a lot cheaper than buying the Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. Plus, we all know how much a lot of us like to have multiple of these cables around. Even if you have a Pro Controller, even if you have a Switch and all the various accessories, we like to have, not always bring the same cable everywhere. Maybe you always want to have a USB-C charging cable on you, etc. So while Nintendo says you should use the official USB charging cable, they are saying you will be okay with a third-party option that does this, and I have a supported affiliate link in the description if you guys would like to pick one up for about $8. It does say you should charge the Switch in an environment where the temperature is between 41 degrees Fahrenheit and 95 degrees Fahrenheit. This is pretty standard. You don't want to charge your Switch in super cold environments, aka like below freezing, and you don't want to charge it in super hot environments. That's just the way electronics are. This is a very interesting point. It does say you should charge your Switch at least once every 6 months. They say if the system isn't charged for a long period of time, surplus electrical discharge may damage the console's ability to charge. This has to do with battery technology, and I can actually vouch for this a little bit. I'm about to use an example that is not exactly perfect here, but my car battery, my car has been sitting outside for 6 months. I just went to start it, right? It does start, but you could tell the battery is low because if I try to turn my lights on, my lights are dim, like my headlights are really dim at night, and then my radio doesn't work. But if I turn my headlights back off, my radio works. There's just not enough power in the battery to power everything properly. However, the battery also cannot be charged. I have tried quick charging it. I have tried just letting my car run for a little while and charge the battery. It cannot get charged. And this is kind of what Nintendo's talking about with your Switch. Even if you just leave that Switch in a box and never unbox it for years, by the time you do unbox it, or if someone unboxes it, a year from now, the Switch might not be able to get charged at all. So it is what it is. That's just the way battery technology is. Repeatedly charging the Switch, they say, will also slowly reduce its overall battery life over time. This is essentially for people who just keep their Switch on the dock a lot. I'm one of those people. My Switch is on my dock a lot. And because of that, you're going to have a shorter battery life. This is true of anything. If you keep a laptop plugged in all the time, etc., batteries just don't last. Now, thankfully, I'm not afraid to take apart my Switch and replace the battery, and you can find replacement batteries online. Some officially supported, some third-party. But, so that's just the way it is with batteries. They also say if your Switch fails to charge or it has a very short battery life, you will need to replace the battery by contacting Nintendo. Now, it is notable that obviously if you fall out of warranty, Nintendo will still replace your system, but they will charge you shipping, they will charge you the cost of labor, and they will charge you for the battery. I have talked to customer service about this. They also will suggest other vendors if you push them enough, where if you if you're out of warranty and would like to try to replace the battery yourself. They will always tell you they don't suggest that, but they also know that no one wants to pay for labor. By the time you pay for labor plus the battery plus shipping, it could be over $100 when the fix might have been as simple as buying a $20 battery online, unscrewing your Switch and plugging it in and taking out the old one. So it is what it is. But yeah, I guess the big news to take out of this is that Nintendo is letting us know that you can use Powerbanks. That some people had concern about Powerbanks since the Switch does overdraw on the USB-C standard sometimes by 300%. And that can affect Powerbanks. That can affect USB-C cables. But if you are using a third-party USB-C cable, 56K OHM resistor, again, we'll have a link to one down in the description for about $8 you can pick up. That's really all you need to know. And my general thoughts on this are, well, good on Nintendo for responding at all. Here's the interesting thing. The post that on Google Plus about this from the mechanical engineer has actually been up for a little bit over a year. This isn't actually new information. It's just no one really cared back then, right? No one really knew this person. No one really had any issues with Switch right away at launch besides the left Joy-Con issue. But as issues have started to crop up over time, people are like, man, what's going on? So as they're researching it, the post gets discovered and the information gets shared. And so Nintendo has officially responded. What I hate, though, is that Nintendo's known this for a long time. Like, they've known you can use third-party cables that need a 56K OHM resistor. But they waited over a year to tell us that. They waited over a year to tell us that you even needed to use this. And this is my issue with this information. As glad as I am that Nintendo came out here to tell us specifically about that USB-C charging cable, I wish they would have been transparent about it from the get-go. Because a lot of this could also be why third-party docks are bricking. Obviously, we know third-party docks that might be more USB-C compliant and running on different voltages, and that could be why. But also, if it's not using a 56K OHM resistor in the power cable that those units come with, that's another reason your Switch might get bricked. So this is just information that Nintendo should have released. Like, this should have been in the manual. You know those manuals that come with Switch that nobody reads? Well, I read mine, and nowhere in there does it say that you should be charging your Switch with a USB-C charging cable with a 56K OHM resistor. That information is not present in there at all, nor is the degrees for charging. Pretty much all the stuff they put here is not in the manual. Like, this is the kind of information that should be in the manual. Not that any of you guys would have read it, but maybe once you started having issues, maybe you would have. And then Nintendo could also say, hey, look, it's not like we never gave that information to you. We just didn't talk about it. But it is what it is. At least we have some more information on this ever-evolving situation that deals with how the Switch uses USB-C. Anyways, folks, hopefully Nintendo in the future will also address some of the issues that were discovered with the dock. I'm guessing they won't, because the only way it can get fixed is for them to replace the boards, and that's going to be something that if they do it, it's going to happen behind the scenes. They're never going to want to come out and be like, yeah, there might be an issue with your launch unit, docks that, we're just going to replace them. Like, that's not going to happen. So, It is what it is, folks. You guys let me know what you think about this new information down in the comments below. As always, I am Nathaniel Rumpeljans from Nintendo Prime, and if you like this video, you know what to do. And if you dislike it, hit that dislike button, and I will just catch you guys in the next one.